Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video is a 50 subscriber special. Yeah, we're at the 50 subscriber special. We are at 50 subscribers and we're going to do a world battle royale between the continents. And just before we start this, there's going to be an alliance between North America, Oceania, and Europe. Yeah. But there can also be civil wars. Where would a civil war like to break out? Let me guess, Empire Japan? Nah. It could be the Empire Japan, but no, it's not going to be. It's going to be India who starts a rebellion. We need to make them a color. What color? Yeah. This color is pretty cool that I have picked, and they start revolting in these areas. Well, likely Asia wouldn't be the most stable with a lot of dangerous rivalries. And quickly, they rise up claiming these lands as to their own republic. So, alright, we start off with a civil war. And well, not much is done. The world kind of just watches this happen at the first part. Yeah. And well, this would never happen. If it did. And that's a bad color I chose. And they go into Sri Lanka. And then they move north. With the Turks not wanting to be under an authoritarian regime, they rise up. And they push north. But luckily, this is all that happens. But the Turks push here. With not much changing. Except there is some, by some tyrannical people. Yeah, Arabia rises up. They somehow push into Iran. And they push north to here. And I'll be right back. Continued to get worse for Asia. Asia just sends its military against Arabia. Which actually goes successful somehow. One place that's going to be of significance fighting most likely will be, well, India still makes it more advanced. And their advance goes successful. Until, of course, they form the Mughal Empire, which started spreading in the Southeast Asia, but then they realized they didn't think here. They left this empty, leading to the fall of that area, which leads to a push here, and a push there is made. And yeah, and here. And well, then they fall here. But they're not the only place to experience a civil war, no. Well, right now they have been. No, that's a bad color to use. It's already been used. Well, in this area, Ethiopia rises up and starts entering a big territory. And then, well, somebody else rises up. But although it's not going to be as good of a story for here. Yeah. This is not going to be favorable. And that's a different color. Well, that's good. And then they start their revolts within South Africa. South Africa rises up. But with some border, somebody enters their border, but not fast. The rebellions basically slowed it. And then Asia starts its advance into Africa. There can also be peace treaties signed, with Europe entering. Oh no. Not Europe, Europeans again. Oh, they do come back. Italy goes into Libya and Tunisia and advances towards Algeria. French troops land. Well, I did mention the peace treaties, but somebody sees that everybody's focused on Africa, so America enters South America. They easily push in the north. Yeah, somehow. They push in the mountains and jungles. And well, they do well. They get all the way to Ecuador. But there is one problem. There is some fights back against. Nobody notices this. They even push into the Caribbean because they can. But that's till North America pushes them back in the Caribbean. Well, rebels start moving. But one major thing happens. South America and North America sign for peace. Much after South America sends a favorable peace treaty towards North America, which basically looks like this. Well, basically North-South America, so it kind of makes sense. And then they do that. America agrees to sign this treaty, but under a condition that they get an ally in South America, which South America agrees to because they need to. With Europe still advancing, Africa tries an advance against Nigeria, which goes pretty speedy, pushing them back. But they thought they were doing good. But Nigeria just basically moved their troops here. And well, they go north. Well, Africa is starting to run into problems. With the war in North Africa and Europe, they call this. When this eventually starts happening, they kind of run into more problems because the DRC is like, yeah, we want to leave. And so they do decide to leave, starting their revolts. Don't even know why and they take more of the coast than they had originally. With all this chaos unfolding, well, doesn't look good for Africa, but Africa does manage to do one thing, which is major. They push back South Africa. African rebels, which kind of keeps it united a bit more. But South Africa dies. With Ethiopia, they try to get a peace treaty. Which, while they're trying to get one, this keeps happening. Ethiopia keeps moving in. But then they agree to the drawn-up peace treaty. But no, nobody's going to be left at the end of this video. With Africa now fighting on less fronts, well, yeah. So then the DRC just falls. And yeah, with their fall, this happens. But Asia does not give up in its fight. At 13, they keep going. And then they meet European forces and push south. Yeah. And well, they do this. Then they push over and do that. Yeah. With them having much success. A lot of success, actually. With North America taking advantage. Well, South America takes advantage in this area. Makes a landing, which they use to gain a foothold. But mostly with slow advances. Let's zoom in on this fight in the area. And they push out. They push down on many fronts. Well, their downward fight goes well. Well, 50 subscribers was pretty great. And they do this. And I'll be right back. Crumble. There is a campaign led by Ethiopia into here with DRC rebels, Democratic Republic of the Congo rebels rising up again, just north of South America. And they push south even. And they push over towards Ethiopian rebels with, yeah, you can already see what's going to happen. South Africa rises up again. And they push up towards South American rebels. No, South American invaders. And yeah, you can see where Africa has gone. And let's look at the collapse of Africa. With it starting. With them pushing in at 21, America does pretty well. Everett is establishing colonies. And between multiple sides, which is not great. Asia takes those lands. And to finish things off, Nigeria advances. And then a peace treaty is signed, which I'll be right back. It's divided badly. Asia, Europe, United States, Nigeria, that looks nothing like Nigeria. DRC looks definitely nothing like the DRC. Ethiopia, no. South Africa, what? What an empire. South America, what? With South Africa sending a note to regarding the war against South America and Africa, which they disagree with them having. With them doing that. And then their friends, the DRC, do this and that. With it ending up at war. So America's like, yeah, want help? And America, who signed a peace, a treaty with them, betrays them. And while they're at this big war with South America, someone who isn't dumb notices prime opportunity to invade Oceania, which is Asia. Notices this prime opportunity. Nobody's doing anything. They can just annex Oceania. This is like the best day ever. And Oceania is kind of... Their advances are slowed at Australia, but not by much. And while Australia kind of collapses while America is just hanging out, and while Oceania is unannexed, Europe says, no, you can't do that. Well, Asia's like, we just did, so it's no big deal. With the DRC, somehow, don't ask me how this is possible, landing in Brazil. With South Africa, don't ask me how this is possible, taking the Falklands back. Did they ever have the Falklands? Don't know. But now South America is in trouble because they're fighting a three-front war. They try to peace out with America. America's like, no, we already peaced out with you. We can't peace twice. With them basically saying that there's no point in worrying. With North America having another war started with Nigeria. Who does this? And they push up into American territory. With the DRC having the availability, they send their forces over. With America, who has the manpower available, does this. And yeah, they kind of just do this. With the DRC kind of taking out the rest. With Nigeria living not long. And with South America dying. But America betrayed their friend. That's evil. And now I'll be right back after. With an aggressive Asia being noted to be existing, well, they team up. Europe and North America, yeah, they do. They make the Euro, they make the European North American, well, they make the European American Union because, well, it's America, basically. It has all of South America and North America, two continents, except a bit. They rename themselves to America because of it. So, the Euro-American world. Which was actually couldn't have came at a better time, because this is where Asia starts their invasion of Ethiopia. And are sanctioned somehow. No, I'm kidding, they don't get sanctioned. And with the DRC running in, there hasn't been many rebellions lately. That could be devastating to Asia. But actually, over time, Asia has restabilized itself. Let's start just coloring in both of their advances in yellow. And yeah, with them both yellow, it makes it much easier. And for the treaty, it'll make it pretty easy too. Without the treaty table, they basically both make an agreement. They sign a treaty around this line. But somehow this land didn't really pan out so well being annexed. And everywhere starting to get stronger. The Euro-American Union, Asia, and Asia devise a plan to take out the rest of the world, including the 2 other places that they don't believe should exist. So, they team up. They send an ultimatum. North America does too. To the DRC, they invade, saying that they're trying to protect their people. Which we don't know if that's true or not, because it's hard to tell when you invade the next day. And well, then Asia sends an ultimatum saying that, stop. We have to invade to restabilize Africa. It's basically what they send to both nations. Everybody's like, yeah, you just need some land. But then they enter. Yeah. They invade. An invasion force is sent in. And they land in Madagascar. Because why not? Watch Madagascar penguins. And well, one big major thing happens. Well, they're both kicked out of North America. Out of South America. With Asia continuing its advance to the south, one major thing happens. That is, they start entering mainland South Africa, and I'll be right back here. And then the fall of there, and the fall of there. But no treaty is signed yet. And North America accusing North America of crimes against humanity from Asia. Yeah, the Euro-American Union receives the message, and within 6 hours, they enter into Alaska, and well, in 3 weeks they're here. With North America sending a huge force into the Africa organized stuff. And the Turkish area just allows them to walk in. And they do this. And they cross the border, quickly unleashing heck as they move into Israel. But they push into the Arabian Peninsula, meet some resistance. With this happening, with on different fronts, bad stuff happens. On this front, well, Asia starts slipping forwards after landing here. Well, on the fronts they invaded Europe and North America from, in the American Euro Union, and here, in the European part, they do that, and here they do this. But there's one problem. Asia with overwhelming superiority does this. Although their advance does slow significantly, they start pushing in Africa. Everywhere else there's pretty much stalemate except Africa, with the big forces overwhelming here in the south. With Asia unleashing a pincher attack, which is smart. They really think it will work in that big of an area. Well, they succeed. With with Euro-American units being forced to retreat from here. And I'll be up in the north. North America starts having success with them doing this. The Euro-American Union. Why don't I just call this NATO? It'll be much easier. Even though it's not really NATO countries, more than just NATO, but it makes sense. But this is where something major happens again. Yeah, they push into Canada. Yeah, this never happened before, but this is not the again thing they do. And somehow they push through Elmer's Island. Don't ask me how. And then they land in Baffin Island. And well, this is where America starts having problems because this happens. And then, well, America starts falling down the coast. With them starting some counter-offensives, which go well in the Canadian area and southern Alaska. Well, at least they control Anchorage. In the war, they stand here. Within the north, well, these were just a distraction, basically, so they easily get wiped out. That's what a distraction is in war. With the many fronts, they start having victory again. With them taking Iraq again. Yeah, well, that's great. Iran falls. And while the Arabian Peninsula areas where there's a lot of problems for the other team, and Egypt, which they start entering. But there's only one problem with this. They may be having success there, but guess who starts having big success here? Which kind of destroys your counter-offensive, too. Yes, look. Yeah, that's how your counter-offensive went. And they even land in the Crete. And they go up into Greece. They take the Bosporus and Dardanelles. Yeah, they do a good job. And they do this. Taking back their land. And they even take back the Persian Gulf area. With North America slipping. And Asia sliding. But they take a different route. They go here. On top of going down in the Cascadia. Almost to California. But while this is going on, completely kicked out of Africa and Asia. No more victory. With them doing this. With them doing this. And basically, they get all the way to here. Well, they end up at Germany. Almost take Germany out. But guess what? Operation Barbarossa 2.0 after a fourth empire is established, or Fourth Reich. And they do this with their Operation Barbarossa. And another Operation Desert Rat. Yeah, and it goes completely successful. Yeah, they basically win the war. But that's until the world is, like, crazy enough with this happening. Winter comes. And yeah. And well, bad logistics happen. And they get pushed out of Spain, out of Italy, out of the Balkans, and out of many areas. But at least when they land there, there's a new operation. Have you heard of this operation? Maybe. Operation Unthinkable, which almost goes fully successful. Yep, Operation Unthinkable happens. And they're kicked out of Alaska with Operation Ice Age 2.0. With them taking out half of almost all of Asia. Nearing Beijing, you know what happens? Well, Imperial Japan rises. Yep, that's true. Imperial Japan. Yeah, is anybody going to win this war? Or is this a war that keeps on coming? With them completely kicked out of here, all hope of winning gone. And basically, Greenland just falls, all of northern Canada. Yeah, even Newfoundland, where nobody lives. And well, they push into North America is completely gone. So now they enter where the last remaining forces are. With the last remaining forces there, Lima. No, this is Lima. That's Quito. That's supposed to be Brasilia. There's some in these cities. Are all that's left. As the red team pushes north in, this is a fall. They make it to Lima. Lima. And well, this happens with forces doing this, managing to do this, Asian forces. Did I forget one thing? Yeah, I forgot Manifest Destiny. That's not going to happen. No. And then they push all the way to there, taking out there. And now the last two remaining holdouts get encircled. And let's see the Battle of Sao Paulo. With them slowly advancing in. And I mean really slowly, as they near the city. But forces definitely do push in here. And they push up and do this, with forces here doing the same. With the battle going bad, and them falling with the P button like in Mario. P button, yeah. With the last remaining forces only existing within that small area. Yeah, and this is all that's left. Looks like a hard-boiled egg if eggs were blue. And while they push into the south, with a slow advance encircling here, no one's there. With them then realizing there's no forces here, so logistically it makes sense for them to do this. And that's what it looked like. Meaning this happens. With them doing triumphant over all of these lands. With them encircling these lands. With their forces going into urban fighting. And with urban fighting, which leads to their forces diving into the city of Brasilia, the last remaining Euro-American Union. With them fighting partisans and everything throughout the city. All that's left is the sea. And now, the world ends as Asia annexes the world, 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 the world. Yes, they took over the world as a red scare. Yeah, they took over the world, the world, the world, the world. They took over the world. Yes, they took over the world. Yep, they took over the world. And yes, I'm at 50 subscribers. So this was a 50 subscriber special. The next subscriber special will be at 75 subscribers. And yeah, it will be 75 subscribers. And yes, 75 subscribers is our next goal. Yeah, we have a month. Hopefully at the end of the month, we're at 65 subscribers, 75 subscribers. Yeah, 75 subscribers by the end of this year. And that is possible. Depends, because look how many people were subscribed October 13th. Only 39. Think of it. 11 of ye subscribers subscribed after October 14th. Yeah, you need to keep this track up of subscribing. Subscribing is a really good idea. Subscribing makes you feel happy. With November 3rd, 48 subscribed, and then you soared up to 50. Because you had to subscribe to get this special. Like, we won't get to the 75 subscriber special until you subscribe. Leave a comment. Leave anything as a comment. I'll respond to any comment you leave. Yeah, so you should subscribe and send comments. I will respond to your comments. And that's a guarantee. And so, you will get your responses to your comments. And Wild Mapper is the best YouTuber in the world, obviously. Why else? I have 50 loyal subscribers. And I want to have 100 loyal subscribers. 1 million! Yeah, well, 1 million is a bit far. It won't be 1 million by the end of the year. Maybe 1,000 by the end of the year at most. But definitely not 1 million. We will get to 1 million in 1 year. No, I'm kidding. But hopefully we do. You know, 1 million, then I can be the most famous, get 1 billion and be the most famous YouTuber ever. But that's kind of out of reach. But who knows? And please subscribe and like this video because it was a special. So it was a specialty video. Specialty made. And it was a long video. Mostly because it was specialty made. And like specialty made. Comment any video ideas because I want to hear them. And I will do them. But you must put the word Wild Mapper. Say at Wild Mapper first. And then, yeah, I will take it. So, please leave at Wild Mapper and what your suggestion is. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out of the specialty